This is The Scoop for Tuesday.
I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines. A 10th grader at Gibbs High School was charged with having a gun on campus yesterday. In a news release, the St. Petersburg Police Department says the handgun was found in the boy's backpack thanks to a tip. Police say the 16-year-old did not make any threats. He will be charged with possession of a firearm on school property. An appeals court yesterday refused to put on hold the U.S. District Judge's ruling in a battle about permitting authority for projects that affect Florida wetlands. The court rejected arguments by the state and business groups. The order from the three-judge panel said Florida has not satisfied the stringent requirements for a stay while the appeal of a U.S. District Judge plays out. The case stems from a 2020 decision by the federal government to shift permitting authority to the state for projects that affect wetlands. In February, the judge ruled that actions by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in approving the shift violated the Federal Endangered Species Act. In an appeal motion, Florida pointed out what it called irreparable injuries if the judge's ruling was not put on hold. Hillsborough County Public Schools celebrated a large investment of federal and community project funding earlier yesterday. WMNF's Jimmy Rosilio reports the money goes into career programs.
U.S. Congressmember Kathy Castor announced $2 million of federal and community project funding to the district. The money assists medical and construction magnet programs. Bowers-Whitley Building Construction Academy teacher Kenny Waite says these funds are a much-needed gift.
I've been with the district about 10 years, and we've always struggled with money. They give us what they can, but a lot of stuff's have to come through donations. With these funds, we can buy what we need.
The award will go towards obtaining supplies, completing construction projects, and installing solar roofs. For WMNF News, I'm Jimmy Rosilio.
Florida reported over 2,500 deaths related to COVID-19 this year, according to the Department of Health website. Those numbers are down compared to the last 4 years. The state had more than 23,000 deaths in 2020. Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Sarasota counties each had more than 100 deaths this year. In April, a federal judge ruled that a transgender Hillsborough County teacher can use her preferred pronouns. WMNF's Chris Young reports that the teacher considers this a win in a state that some may say is hostile to LGBTQ educators.
Katie Wood has been teaching in her hometown of Ruskin for the last 3 years.
I went to college at USF, got my degree in math education, and I actually started teaching at my high school, Leonard High School, shout out, that I graduated from.
Wood is a transgender woman and says she felt singled out after a 2023 Florida law.
Me and my faculty and staff, we were told by new Hillsborough County policy and law that transgender teachers were unable to go by their quote unquote incorrect pronouns, meaning that I would no longer be able to call myself she, her.
She was given the option to use the titles Mr., Coach, or Teacher, none of which fit for her.
And even kids don't understand the nuances of that. So they're like, teacher, what? Yes, you're teacher. That's what you're here for. And it was many kids being like, what does that even mean?
So in December 2023, she sued. Wood and her lawyers said the law violates her First Amendment rights and went against a federal civil rights law. She says it was a long fight and even considered leaving the state, but didn't.
If I can stay and fight the good fight, I have a responsibility to do that.
And she scored a victory. Chief U.S. District Judge Mark Walker said the law violates Wood's First Amendment right.
We won our preliminary injunction, meaning, for the duration of the case. What was it, a couple weeks ago? I'm now able to go back to being Miss Wood and calling myself she, her.
The decision does not apply statewide. Last month, the state appealed the ruling. A member of Wood's legal team says the appeal is expected to be heard in the second half of the year. For WMNF News, I'm Chris Young.
You can watch that full interview. It's on WMNF.org. Governor DeSantis signed a bill last week preventing strippers under the age of 21 from performing in adult entertainment establishments across Florida. Meanwhile, arguments will begin June 6th in Jacksonville about whether a similar city ordinance violates the dancers' First Amendment rights. Backers of the state bill say it's aimed at curbing trafficking. In July, people under 21 will not be able to work as exotic dancers, and employing or allowing people under 21 to perform nude in the establishments could lead to second-degree felony charges. I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.